Okay. plastic. trouble putting it in and out.
There are three.
The Ford Transit has been produced at the Kansas City Assembly Plant in Missouri since 2014. Since then, more than 1 million transit vans have rolled off the line at this U.S. facility. As one of Ford's most productive facilities in North America, the plant employs between 9,000 and 9,400 workers, represented by UAW. It runs 2 full production shifts, operating 5 to 6 days per week. The Ford Transit is the best-selling full-size van in the United States. It's a top choice for commercial fleets, commonly used by plumbers, electricians, and delivery services, and is also favored for passenger transport by hotels and shuttle operators. Its main competitors include the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, Ram ProMaster, and the now discontinued Nissan NV. The Transit consistently holds a 40% share of the full-size van market. You're now seeing the wheel assembly process, followed by quality control inspections and final testing of the completed Ford Transit vehicles. Last year, Ford sold 152,000 Transit vans in the U.S., an 18% increase over the previous year. This strong performance reinforces the Transit's position as America's best-selling full-size van. And now, you're witnessing the exciting launch of the all-new Ford e-Transit, a groundbreaking step forward in the world of electric commercial vehicles. The e-Transit Custom is a battery electric panel van variant announced in March 2021 alongside the second-generation Transit Custom. This is the Kansas City Assembly Plant, and in addition to the Ford Transit, the Ford F-150 is also built here. It consists of 4.7 million square feet of production space and employs approximately 8,400 hourly workers, represented by the United Auto Workers Local 249. Kansas plant is the largest car manufacturing plant in the United States in terms of vehicles produced. It's the only plant in the U.S. that manufactures the Ford Transit van, a top-selling commercial van. It also builds the all-electric Ford e-Transit, which is Ford's first all-electric van and part of its major EV strategy. Production of the e-Transit Custom began in the second half of 2023 at Ford Otosan. The all-electric e-Transit Custom adds another drivetrain option to both the Volkswagen T7 Transporter and the Ford Transit Custom, which are expected to continue offering mild hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and diesel options. The body parts are then transported to the warehouse and then welded in the welding shop. Ford began shipments of the e-Transit from Kansas City in February 2022, after receiving over 10,000 orders from 300 customers, including major fleets like Walmart. For calendar year 2024, e-Transit deliveries were reported at 12,610 units in the U.S. The wheels are held on 5 strong bolts. At the factory, they are screwed on with a pneumatic screwdriver. This transit van is offered with either short or long wheelbase and low or high roof. The e-Transit is a great choice because it offers a huge cargo space and at the same time a great saving when driving. This facility is Ford's Livonia transmission plant, situated in Livonia, Michigan. The Livonia transmission plant is located at 36,200 Plymouth Road and covers 182 acres, with about 3.3 million square feet of indoor production space. It is the largest transmission plant in North America. The facility first opened in 1952 and has since been updated to support modern transmission production and digital manufacturing. The 6-speed 6R series used in vehicles like the Explorer, F-150, Transit, Mustang, and Expedition. These are based on ZF designs and have been made at the plant since around 2005. The plant produces about 1.5 million transmissions per year, with expectations to reach 2 million units in coming years. Handles multiple models for both rear and front-wheel drive vehicles: F-150, Ranger, Mustang, Transit, Explorer, Edge, Focus, with some output shipped overseas. This is the Ford Sharonville transmission plant, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Introduced in 2011, this heavy-duty transmission is built specifically for Ford Super Duty pickups, featuring both diesel and gasoline engines. In total, the plant employs approximately 1,800 to 2,300 hourly workers, plus around 200 salaried staff, operating multiple shifts to produce a transmission roughly every 2.5 minutes. Founded in 1958, the plant has been producing transmissions for Ford cars since. Since about 2017 to 18, Sharonville has assembled the Ford version of the joint Ford-GM 10-speed transmission, primarily destined for rear-wheel drive Ford models. The plant also machines individual gears for multiple transmission families, like 6R80 and 8F57, which get shipped to other Ford plants such as Livonia and Van Dyke for final assembly. Sharonville is a multi-time winner of Ford's North American President's Quality Award, including back-to-back wins for the quality of its Super Duty transmission production. The Sharonville transmission plant stands as Ford's center of excellence for transmissions and related components. It plays a key role in powering heavy-duty trucks via the 6R140 and 10R80 transmissions, while also supplying gears for multiple powertrain programs across North America. Ford's 6.7-liter diesel engine is designed to handle a mixture of up to 20% biodiesel by volume and 80% petroleum diesel fuel. Rather than adapting the lighter-duty F-150 truck for heavier use, Super Duty trucks have been designed as a dedicated variant of the Ford F-Series. The heavier-duty chassis components allow for heavier payloads and towing capabilities. This female factory worker is checking the connection between the body and the chassis. Super Duty will carry more weight. It's heavier, so it'll pull better empty. Light trailers bounce around a lot. Quality control employees are responsible for the highest possible quality that American customers deserve. The main difference between the Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty trucks, like the F-250, F-350, and F-450, is their size and capability. Ford F-150 is ideal for families, weekend projects, light towing, and general use. Ford Super Duty is built for heavy towing, work sites, farming, hauling trailers, or commercial fleets. Every Ford Super Duty truck is built at the Kentucky Truck Plant in Louisville, and each one includes over 4,000 spot welds and more than 1 mile of wiring. This plant is one of Ford's most advanced and high-output facilities. It runs 3 shifts per day and produces a Super Duty truck about every 53 seconds during peak operation. This is the production of a Ford Fusion at the Flat Rock Assembly Plant. Fusion began being built at Flat Rock in the fall of 2013, marking the first time this mid-size sedan was manufactured in the United States, supplementing production in Hermosillo, Mexico. Ford invested $555 million to retool Flat Rock, adding a fully flexible body shop and an upgraded 3-wet paint process, allowing the plant to build both Fusion and Mustang on the same line. 1,400 new employees were hired specifically to support Fusion assembly. These workers were trained using a simulated factory where they practiced real assembly tasks, from bolt tightening to brake line installation, before joining the line. The plant's flexible body shop can produce multiple models on the same assembly line, supporting Ford's global approach to flexible manufacturing and enabling quicker adaptation to market demand. 2020 was the final model year for the Fusion in North America, effectively ending what was left of Ford's four-door car lineup in North America. The Ford Flex, a full-size crossover SUV, was manufactured from 2009 to 2019 at Ford's Oakville assembly plant in Ontario, Canada.
Right at the beginning of that one.
Production concluded in late 2019, with the final units rolling off in November. This end of production resulted in significant workforce reductions, including approximately 450 job losses. In 2024, Ford announced plans to retool the Oakville plant to produce next-generation electric vehicles, with production expected to commence in 2027. You are now watching a dance of robots that gradually and automatically weld the entire body of the Edge and Flex vehicles. The Ford Edge, a midsize crossover SUV, began production at Oakville in 2007 and remained in continuous production through April 2024. The 2024 Ford Edge model year began production in early August 2023 and experienced a production increase in October of that year. You have just seen the preparation of the body in white before painting. Now it's time for the painting process. Following the wrap-up of Edge production, the Oakville plant is undergoing a major retooling to shift toward future electric vehicle manufacturing, including forthcoming EV versions of the Ford Explorer and Lincoln Aviator, with pre-production starting late 2024 and full production aimed for early 2025. Both vehicles were produced at the Oakville assembly plant, which served as a global production hub for Ford's crossover SUVs, including the Lincoln counterparts like the Nautilus. The end of Edge and Flex production aligns with broader strategic moves, shifting consumer demand, transition toward electrification, and reorientation of model lineups. This section is called the marriage. The automated production line joins the body with the chassis frame and the engine.
I like these guys. I'm sure they're all nice as you are.
Approximately 3,400 mostly Canadian workers are employed here, with most of them working directly on the main assembly line. Ford announced a $1.8 billion Canadian dollar investment to transform the Oakville facility into a hub for electric vehicle manufacturing. The Oakville plant's retooling underscores Ford's pivot toward electric vehicles, although some new strategies have since shifted toward heavy-duty truck production due to market dynamics. The facility is being renamed the Oakville Electric Vehicle Complex. A 407,000 square foot battery pack assembly building is being added to the campus. The facility will produce next-generation electric vehicles, including potential models like the Ford Explorer and Lincoln Aviator. Ford recently raised its expected 2025 pre-tax profit hit from U.S. tariffs on imported vehicles, steel and aluminum, to $3 billion, $500 million more than earlier projections. To mitigate disruption, Ford has stockpiled Canadian-made engines in the U.S., particularly to support its Michigan assembly operations. It's also evaluating ramping up production in U.S. plants or adjusting pricing. This move disrupted the integrated North American automotive supply chain, leading to production slowdowns, temporary layoffs, and heightened uncertainty among Canadian auto workers. As you can see for yourself, the manufacturing processes in this Canadian factory are very similar to those in the USA. This factory utilizes 440 robots to assist in production. Last year, Ford announced a shift in strategy, opting to produce F-Series Super Duty pickup trucks at the Oakville plant starting in 2026. The new plan aims to add capacity for up to 100,000 Super Duty pickups annually. The shift is expected to secure approximately 1,800 jobs at the Oakville facility. This factory produces a model every 90 seconds on the assembly line, with each vehicle taking 26 hours to progress from steel to completion on the rail. Please leave a comment below letting us know if you mind that vehicles sold in the United States are often manufactured in Canada. This worker in a white t-shirt is working on the vehicle's chassis and has his hands raised up. Thanks to strong labor unions in Canada, factory workers are allowed to wear any clothing they want. The UAW represents a significant number of Ford workers in Canada, particularly in assembly plants and parts manufacturing. Through collective bargaining, the UAW advocates for safer workplaces, fair pay, health benefits, and improved working hours. The UAW's influence helps maintain high labor standards, which in turn helps Ford Canada attract and retain skilled workers. A large part of the production line is automated using yellow robots. However, the robots require human supervision and regular maintenance. The last stage of every production process is the final quality inspection. Every vehicle produced has its own birth certificate, which includes its specifications. The vehicles are now taken to the test track and will then be loaded onto trains and delivered to dealerships. Many American cars are produced in Canada due to the highly integrated North American auto industry. Canada offers a skilled workforce, competitive production costs, and well-established manufacturing facilities, especially in Ontario.